So, welcome to our 2023 Brandex Reviews Christmas special. This is part two. In part one, we were a little bit cynical, talking about some of the things that didn't work out quite so well in this year for pop culture and so on. This one, we're a little bit more optimistic. We talk about some of the things from the last year, but also some of the things that we've got to look forward to coming up in 2024 with movies and video releases and so on. We also have at the end of the video an appearance from the Buff as well. We have proof of life, so stay tuned right at the end for that as well. So I'll just run the rest of the video for you now.
So yeah, we'll just pick up from where we left off. So we're talking about Bud Light and other stuff that's happened this year. In terms, we'll get back on the main thing about movies and stuff, rather than talk about all the culture war stuff. I mean, I'm starting by talking about that, but we've had a few films as well, some interesting ones that were a bit of a disappointment in terms of the results they got. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, really good film. I enjoyed it. First Mission Impossible film I've seen in the cinema since the original.
I think it might be certainly with like Dead Reckoning, a bit of a case of like people are getting a little bit sick and fed up with this part one.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but I want to watch a complete film. I'm kind of sick and fed up with this. Like, yep, you got to come see part one. Then you got to come see part two. And it's like, can't you just release a long film that's got it all?
It was very unnecessary as well. That's what I mean. It's a shame because it is a complete film. I mean, you could do a film and one that obviously will have a continuation. I mean, this has more of that than any other Mission Impossible film I've seen before. There is a definite to be continued, but it is a complete film, similar to Avengers: Infinity War. It is a complete film for the most part. I mean, you knew there was more to come, but it was its own thing. It had a start, a middle, and an end, a bad end that you kind of knew. It'd be Marvel and so on, but this was similar to that. I thought it was very good, but like I fully agree with you. Calling it part one is partly what hurt it. More people would probably go see part two and then just watch the first one for the first time on video or whatever before going to the cinema to see that.
I mean, I must admit, I'm probably just going to wait for both parts to come out and I can just watch them together.
Yeah, well, it's a shame it didn't do too well because it was a good film and it would have been nice because Tom Cruise's last film in the cinema, Top Gun Maverick, did really well, deservedly so. So it would have been nice to see a continuation of that. I know it's a different franchise and all that, but
yeah, well, I mean, they definitely did not like how well that film did.
Yeah. John Wick 4 as well, I really enjoyed. I wasn't expecting to enjoy that one because I found the third one a little bit boring in places. It's good, but not really. I wish I liked those films more than I do. And I've rewatched them recently and I've enjoyed them, but like I said, I'm not like one of those hardcore John Wick fans, but I did like number 4, even though it's like 2 hours 45 or something. Gonna be rewatching that soon, but that was a good one. Creed 3 as well. Again, I wasn't sure if I wanted to see that anyway because they ditched Stallone, but at the same time, it's a Creed franchise, so it needs to stand on its own. And I felt like the first two were kind of piggybacking off the Rocky name and Stallone and everything, so you kind of needed to see a movie without him.
You're definitely not going to get a continuation to this Creed film with the same villain.
What's that? Oh yeah.
Because Jonathan Majors got found guilty for like harassment, and domestic violence, basically.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? So it seems like he's quite similar to his character in the film Creed 3. We also had Barbenheimer as well. That was interesting. In fact, Paul Cage wanted us to mention this. Obviously, that was the Barbie movie and the Oppenheimer movie. And neither films really are for me. I mean, I'm a massive Christopher Nolan fan, and this is one that I won't be rewatching because I found it boring as hell. I like a good intellectual movie. I don't mind biopics and stuff, but there's just something about it. It just didn't work for me. It was just people in rooms talking for 3 hours.
Yeah, they kind of try and make it look very epic on the posters and stuff, but I was kind of knew that going in. It's like he never went like to war or anything. Like he didn't deliver the bomb himself.
Yeah, exactly. So just wasn't for me, but it was good objectively. It was well filmed, as you'd expect from Christopher Nolan. There's a little bit of difficulty understanding the timeline and so on for the average film goer, but you can still kind of get it. But then there was also the Barbie movie as well. So Oppenheimer was more a guy's film. Barbie, obviously, is a girl's film, or soy boys. And
strange enough, a film aimed at women, full of things like pink and girly and stuff.
yeah, you got to give
Actually,
it
like
that.
women like that. It's like, it's weird, you know.
Yeah.
You would have thought that would do well.
Well, my girlfriend doesn't go to the cinema at all, and she went to see that. That actually got her out. And after that, I was like, "Oh, well, we can go to the cinema now." Then, like I'd been wanting this to for ages, and I ended up getting us to go to see the Meg 2, which we both enjoyed. But yeah, your point. Girls liked that kind of thing, and it shows that movies at the cinema, it still has a place for the average moviegoer. So it's not just catering for people like me who are like hardcore into films. Movies that are just the average moviegoer can make a lot of money, because both those films did. So
one of the reasons they've not been making the sort of money they used to is because they've shut down all these different revenue streams, like to replace them with streaming.
Yeah,
it's like, we're not really bothering with much of a cinema release anymore. All right, so you're not getting the money for the cinema and the prestige. Or we're not doing a physical media release anymore. It's like, okay, so you're pinning all your hopes on like a monthly subscription. If you were pulling in like Netflix numbers, okay, but even Netflix isn't pulling in those numbers anymore since you guys all pull your content off it.
Yeah. Well, so there was that. I'll get into next year's stuff shortly, but I mean, this was relevant this year. We had the whole Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs thing. Was it Rachel Zegler?
Yes.
And she had to go on a whole like apology tour, pretty much, because her attitude towards the content, the Disney content.
Well, they're trying their best to like make Walt Disney out to have been like a horrible person and all this, and it's like, I'm sorry, it just comes across as really skeezy. It's not even like, oh, the guy's just died or something, and all this stuff's coming out. It's like you're trying to dig up stuff long after the guy is fucking passed.
And talking about
long after he's passed, and anybody else who might know anything about the situation has passed, it just feels really scummy at that point.
Yeah, and talking about the Prince Charming thing and like saying he's a stalker, which was kind of creepy, and it's like horrible bitch. There's something about it just really rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way, and I think they know in advance they've got a bomb on their hands with that movie, not just because of her, but a lot of the other factors there. But Paul Cage asked me to mention that, and
yeah, I mean, she's done all right with like the Hunger Games sequel thing.
Yeah. Well, Paul was also saying, I don't know anything about this, maybe you do, but something about a thing called Where Evil Lurks. Is that a movie? It's like a foreign horror movie or something.
No idea.
All right. Well, the point he was making was that that there was that, and then there was the Exorcist sequel movie that didn't do very well at all. That was pumped full of
The Message.
I don't think it was actually full of. I think there was just like a couple of bits where like the patriarchy was mentioned, but I don't think anybody wanted to see that movie. And by contrast, you had a film that was a bit of a low budget one called Where Evil Lurks, and it did quite well apparently. So,
I'd say that's pretty much the thing with Godzilla minus Zero. There's like a call for that. Like people are interested in seeing like those sort of films. And I say reducing it for a sane budget, like even a modest return at the box office looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter, like, oh, I've made 2 million at the box office. Unfortunately, I spent 5 million just making the damn thing. And then like even more like trying to like re-edit it and, you know, advertise it. Yeah. It's like, well, if it only makes 5 million at the box office, but it only made 1 million to make, strangely enough, that's quite a good profit, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, some of these films can be quite good as well, like the lower budget ones that are kind of done with sort of lower aspirations kind of thing. I know it's on like its own platform. It's not like a mainstream release, but there's that comedy by the Daily Wire, Lady Ballers. Looks pretty good. I've heard sort of mixed things about it. Although we get where the movie's coming from, kind of thing.
Day one of being a girl athlete. I love being a girl.
Two sheroes. We could dominate every woman's sport. Running, swimming, soccer. I said sport, Felix.
It's still a film, and films have to be kind of entertaining. And I've heard that it's like okay, like an early 2000s Adam Sandler comedy type thing.
Yeah.
So
the ballers, where he empties both balls into both. Anyway, what was I saying?
the hell. So yeah, I mean, like I said, 2023. Any other sort of moments from this year in pop culture that spring to mind?
I mean, it's not something I've watched, but just to generally bring this up while we're talking about things that have done quite well. Another thing that was absolutely kicking the shit out of like Disney releases and stuff was it Taylor Swift or something? Some like kind of live concert thing she did.
Yeah,
that got released kind of at the cinema, and that was doing pretty decently from what I heard.
Yeah, and she's another one of these little woke demons. But you know, end of the day, if she can separate quality of music and people are resonating with it, that's fine. It's just when they're throwing out a lot of woke garbage in movies, people just check out.
Like I say, not even getting into woke. It's just like I don't go to a film to be like lectured at. Like I go to a film to be entertained. I don't go to be educated about.
The message.
Oh, damn it!
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. What the hell? I wish he'd stop interrupting us. You know, what the hell?
But yeah, it's just like, why would I mean, I'm sorry, I've never been interested in watching like educational like stuff like that since like primary school when you had to watch it. So why the fuck would I pay like however much it is to go to the cinema or to rent it off like Amazon or something just to have like some smug fucker like, oh yes, well, you are the problem. You've done all this stuff. It's like, well, shit, I hadn't realized I'd travel back in time and, enslaved like a bunch of people. Like, fucking hell.
Exactly.
I must be oh, wait, no, I never did that. What the fuck?
Yeah. So for this year as well, we've had some pretty good home video releases, some pretty good moments there where we had I talked a lot about this on the channel earlier in the year as it was kind of, as things were developing, the Bruce Lee box set. That was really exciting. And the Arrow video really delivered with that as well. It cost quite a bit of money. I think it was like £120 or something for like 4.5 films with all different cuts as well. And a whole lot of content, but it was a very nice box set. That was one of the highlights of the year in terms of like movies and purchases and stuff like that. That was in July, because of the 50th anniversary of Bruce Lee's passing, and Enter the Dragon's release as well, because that came out when he passed away. So we had a 50th anniversary of that from Warner Brothers, separate to the Arrow box set, and that was very good as well. So. Shows physical media for older things is still, got a lot of potential there.
Like I was saying, like, it was a revenue stream that they've just basically, like, dumped in the push for streaming. And it's like, you guys needed that revenue stream, though. Like, you are hemorrhaging money at, like, a fucking insane rate. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's now talking like, I mean, this is just purely like discussion. Nothing's happened yet. It's not like, oh, this is happening, but it's getting leaked to the press, which is like a worrying sign. Warner Brother Discovery might be merging with like CBS, like Paramount.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because apparently they have been kind of potentially shopping around for like, somebody to like either merge or buy it out altogether, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good sign.
Yeah. Well, for next year, talking of home video, we've got some exciting ones coming up. James Cameron's finally given the go on re-releases and new formats, because some of these even skipped Blu-ray for his films. The Abyss which the only version you can get in the UK at least is the DVD, and it's an early 2000s DVD as well. So it's like one of those anamorphic ones. It's like black bars on the top and the sides. I mean, you can zoom in, but the picture's awful. And we get a 4K release of that. And it's a very good film. Also, True Lies, the Arnie one, and Aliens as well, all in 4K. That's in February, I think. I can't remember. Early next year, anyway. So I'll definitely be getting those. And some cinema releases. Have you seen that trailer for Civil War yet?
No.
It looks good. Kind of like, I mean, the film isn't like this as such, but like, not White House Down. What was the other one? Olympus Has Fallen. That one, and those movies. That kind of level of movie. It's like it's not quite a B movie as such. It gets like a decent cinema release and a lot of promotion and stuff, but it just doesn't have the feel of like a top tier, like big budget, like blockbuster movie, which is good in a lot of ways. It's not as over the top necessarily, but yeah, that kind of film, maybe crossed with like The Purge or something like that. Well, the better ones. But yeah, check that out. It does look very good. We'll see. We'll see if it's pushing any kind of like angle. I'm not going to bring the critical drinker in on this, but whether it's coming from like these people represent like Trump supporters or these people represent Democrats or whatever. I'm hoping it's kind of separated from that and is just its own thing, not an allegory for something else. There's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire as well. Have you seen the trailer for that yet?
Yes.
Looks good. Looks like it has promised. They go back to New York in that one, which is something we didn't really see much in Ghostbusters Afterlife. So, and it's good that they're exploring something new and not just revisiting the Gozer thing or whatever.
Topher, the Tophazarian.
So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I'm open-minded. Hopefully, it's not full of.
The message.
Yeah, had to get that in one more time. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so next year, any expectations for next year? I don't know how much of this is going to invade like pop culture stuff. I mean, it's gonna. 2024 American elections. Expect hell, basically.
Oh, if fucking Orange Man gets in again, Jesus.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I would happily see him as the president if he did the job right, but I don't know quite how practical that's going to be.
I mean, just like in general, like the amount of fucking derangement syndrome we'd get.
Yeah, but you know, these people are pretty rotten themselves. But I
Yeah,
don't know
no, I'm just in general, like if that happens, like
yeah,
expect this shit to continue for another like 10 years.
yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But point is, anyway, I mean, we're not talking too much politics in this one, but obviously, as a fan of movies and so on, I mean, we remember 2016 and how it kind of infected a lot of things there. 2020, I think they had to go full bore with it, and we had the scamdemic, the pandemic, and so on, which you know could have been partly a coincidence that it happened to be an election year in the US, but.
I mean, what is fucking what's his face actually managed to achieve in the years that he's been in, apart from being slightly old and ineffective?
Well, yeah, exactly. So expect more of that if you're a fan of movies and so on and so forth. There's going to be a lot of that kind of crap affecting and infecting all of that as well. So, but on a positive note, it's Christmas. I hope you're all having a good Christmas, everyone. Any plans for Christmas, Core?
I'm fucking working, so no.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple of days free to myself leading up to Christmas. So I'm just going to watch some more Christmas movies. Like I said, I'm going to watch Scrooged tonight, as we're recording this anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm working Christmas, so I've had my Christmas dinner kind of today, basically.
Yeah, I know you do, right?
It's like at that
Then-
point, like Christmas is just kind of like a not mandatory, kind of an arbitrary date at that point. Like I'm working, so I might as well enjoy myself when I'm not working.
Yeah, it's the same for a lot of people, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll do it like if I'm off, like Boxing Day, that'll be my like Christmas day. But like I said, just this year, it's like, well, I'm working Boxing Day as well, so fuck
Yeah.
it. I've got like chicken breast and stuff. I'll like do myself up like a proper like Christmas dinner
Yeah.
type.
Yeah, well, I'll be coming out to see you on New Year's Eve as well. So we'll talk about that off camera. Don't need to put that in the Christmas special here. So I've got FB this this thing for Christmas. It's the Gray's Sports Almanac, and it's he won't understand what that is. It's from Back to
I
the
was going to
Future.
say, like, does it tell you who's going to win all the?
Well, he did. It was from 1950 to the year 2000, and he does
Yeah,
actually
damn.
yeah, but he's got actual real sports statistics in because somebody's like republished it and put all the actual sports stats in there, and FB would like that. But he won't understand that it's the context of the broader context. So yeah, well,
Like the
we'll
handbook.
pretty short here unless there's any other news from the core.
Nothing that comes to mind.
Yeah, nice one. Well, I don't know if this will be the last video for the year, but we'll try to do a Christmas special every year if we can. It's not like the Halloween special. We do that every year, but if we can do a Christmas special, we will. So it's just two guys talking anyway. Right, well, I'll end it there. Merry Christmas, everyone, and we'll see you when we see you.
So that's the end of our Christmas special, but before we go we did have a visit from the Buff and we filmed a quick 2-minute segment here. It's more for some of the specific viewers of our channel that follow us, so this is a bit of a shout out and a rare appearance from the Buff, but for now I'll say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Right, so we interrupt this broadcast for a message from the Buff.
Hey!
So I've had to write down a list of things that we're going to mention as well in this. There's only 4 points. I'm not going to make any tofu jokes at your expense, so
Right.
we edit them into the video when you're not there.
Right, yeah, okay, right.
So yeah, first I was just going to say congratulations to Neil. He got married as we're recording this like 2 days ago, I think it was. So so yeah, that was one thing. You've met Neil before as well.
Yes,
So yeah.
yeah.
So that's one thing. Oh yeah, the Buff taunt gift as well, right? So I'm giving you presents.
Put this down.
Yeah, we've always got to edit this in. So this isn't the taunt gift, but the label is a bit of a taunt. So it's got a.
Okay, good.
Don't ask how I've done that. I'll show it to the camera.
All right, yes.
So there we've got the twofer. So that's one thing. And here is the moment you've been waiting all year for, Buff.
Oh no.
It's the taunt gift. Do you want to know what it is, Buff? You're gonna have to wait. Right.
Oh god.
It could be anything. So yeah.
The bloody hell is it?
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll go through the list of previous ones. So I was going to show you, as I'll mention this on the video we're talking about, this is for FB. It's the
Cool.
It's the Back to the Future Sports Almanac. And it's actually got actual statistics in there.
Wow.
Somebody's printed it and used actual sports statistics from the years 1950 to the year 2000, so you can see it kind of goes through the year 2000 and it goes back through the years kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
That's really
He'll
good.
only like it for sports stats. He won't understand the relevance of it because, I think he has seen Back to the Future, but I'm going to give him that. He's not going to get it. The other thing as well was the message for the core. We were trying to do this video before where this is where we'll end this bit. We're just trying to taunt him and say Merry Christmas to the core. We're very sorry you couldn't be with us today because you're working on New Year's Eve. So that's why you couldn't be on the Christmas message with the Buff. So we did it. We actually got it because there's a few outtakes from that when we're trying to do that. So yeah. Right, here we are with the Buff. And right, Core, are you meeting us for Christmas, Core, or anything that could stump that Buff?
Yes.
Oh no, he's working. He's working on Christmas Day. Actually, he's a Core, so he can't meet us on. Oh no, fuck that up. Right, so here we are with the Buff.
Yes.
So a message for the Core. Are you meeting us for Christmas, Core? I've done it again. Right, finally a message for the Core. Right, so are you meeting us a few days before Christmas? Or are you working Christmas Day, so you can't meet us like a few days before? That's any news, Buff?
No.
What the hell? Well, yeah, anyway, we'll leave it there. This is the Buff, so
Yes.
the longest appearance he's had on the channel, so all 12 of you that have watched this video, we hope you enjoy. Right.